February 2021, Scotland is shrouded in a cold, gloomy winter, weighed down by the COVID-19 pandemic. Amidst this grim backdrop, Bennylyn Lindon and her 2-year-old daughter, Jellica, mysteriously vanish. Their bodies are later discovered buried beneath the kitchen floor of a house in Dundee. But this was no ordinary murder. Police uncovered evidence of unspeakable horror. Both mother and child had been raped, brutally murdered, and dismembered before being entombed in concrete. The perpetrator, Andrew Wenenza, man with a scholarly reputation, a respected figure in the tech industry. But beneath this polished exterior lurked a monster in human form. What really happened on that fateful day? What dark secrets was the killer hiding? Join us as we delve into the chilling details of this shocking case, uncovering the disturbing truth you've never heard before. Subscribe to Crime Chronicles and hit the like button for more true crime stories.
The main figure in this case, Bennylyn Burke, was born in 1995 in Quezon, one of the most populous cities in the Philippines. She grew up in a family with 3 siblings. Due to financial difficulties, Bennylyn was the only one in her family who could afford to attend university. In 2015, Bennylyn met Lexington, a British man 40 years her senior, through a dating app. Lexington lived in Scotland, and despite the vast geographical distance, their love blossomed through daily conversations. Their relationship quickly progressed. In 2018, Bennylyn and Lexington held a wedding ceremony on Samar Island, Philippines. A month later, their daughter, Jellica, was born, doubling the family's joy. However, at this time, Bennylyn had not yet completed the paperwork to move to the UK with her husband. In August 2019, Bennylyn finally moved to the UK to reunite with her husband in the town of Bristol. The initial days were challenging, but Bennylyn's resourcefulness and intelligence helped her adapt quickly. She excelled not only as a mother, but also worked at a care home to earn extra income. Bennylyn even sent money back home to support her family in the Philippines. But such happy days didn't last long. Bennylyn and Lexington's marital life began to show cracks. Lexington became controlling and cold, unlike the early days of their relationship. This led Bennylyn to decide to leave her husband and move with her daughter to a small apartment on the outskirts of Bristol. Life as a single mother wasn't easy, but Bennylyn was determined not to give up custody of her daughter. She maintained close contact with her family in the Philippines, especially her sister. Every day, they spoke on the phone, sharing life's joys and struggles. This connection became a source of motivation for Bennylyn to navigate her challenging days. In 2021, after finalizing her divorce, Bennylyn began seeking new opportunities in love. She joined a dating site where she met Andrew Innes, a software engineer living in the town of Dundee, Scotland. Andrew, a 50-year-old man, came across as polite and caring. He had a past of being divorced and was living alone in Scotland. Bennylyn was drawn to his maturity and the promise of a bright future he painted. After days of online conversations, she decided to visit Scotland with her daughter Jellica, and Andrew promised to pick them up. On February 18, 2021, Bennylyn and Jellica got into Andrew's car and left Bristol. During the journey, she joyfully video-called her sister, sharing that she and her daughter were having a great trip. But that was the last time Bennylyn's sister saw her. The following day, February 19th, Bennylyn and Jellica disappeared. Bennylyn's small apartment in Bristol fell silent. Lexington, Bennylyn's ex-husband, came to visit but found no one home. Bennylyn's sister in the Philippines repeatedly called, but there was no response. On February 20, 2021, Bennylyn's sister received a message from an unknown number. The sender, identifying himself as Andrew, "Are you Bennylyn's sister?" Bennylyn met a man at a cafe. They might have met through a dating app. She and her daughter Jellica went to Glasgow with him. The message shocked Bennylyn's sister. She immediately replied, "Really? But why isn't Bennylyn answering calls? What did she say about this?" Andrew explained that Bennylyn and her ex-husband had numerous disputes over child custody, and fearing the police or others might search for her, she decided to turn off her phone and flee. Andrew's explanation didn't convince Bennylyn's sister. She thought, if my sister had such a plan, she would have told me beforehand. Trusting her instincts, she asked directly, "Is my sister still alive?" Andrew replied calmly, Scotland is a very peaceful place, with no crimes. Don't worry, Bennylyn is safe. But when she pressed further asking, "Are you sure? What happened to my sister?" Andrew stopped responding. Andrew's silence only amplified Bennylyn's sister's worries. To reassure her, Andrew unexpectedly sent a short video showing Bennylyn smiling. However, upon closer inspection, Bennylyn's sister realized the video appeared to have been recorded a long time ago, and didn't align with the present timeline. After receiving the video, Bennylyn's sister attempted to message and call Andrew, but received no response. She waited patiently for 2 weeks, hoping Bennylyn would reach out. However, all efforts were in vain. Both Bennylyn and Andrew had vanished without a trace. On March 1, 2021, unable to endure any longer, Bennylyn's sister decided to report her missing to the local police in Dundee, Scotland. Upon receiving the case, Scottish police immediately launched an investigation. However, they faced a significant hurdle. Bennylyn's sister had limited information about Andrew, knowing only his name and that he lived in Dundee. There was no address or any specific lead. Based on information provided by Bennylyn's sister, police discovered that Bennylyn and her daughter Jellica had left Bristol on February 18, 2021, with a man. They reviewed all traffic cameras along the route from Bristol to Dundee. After tireless efforts, they identified a suspicious car on video. Initial investigations revealed that the vehicle was registered to Andrew Innans, a 52-year-old man living in Dundee. Police promptly located Andrew's house at 21 Troon Avenue. When officers knocked on the door, Andrew slightly opened it and said, "My daughter is taking a bath and needs to get dressed. You can't come in right now." His furtive gaze and unusual demeanor aroused suspicion. Through the door gap, they spotted a child lying on a mattress in the living room. The surrounding furniture was disorganized, and the kitchen appeared unusually messy. Detecting suspicious signs, the police warned Andrew to cooperate and entered the house. Upon entering, they immediately noticed the irregularities. The furniture was chaotic and disorganized. In the living room, an old mattress lay in the middle of the floor, surrounded by scattered personal belongings. The kitchen area raised further suspicions. Part of the floor had recently been tiled, with fresh cement still visible. Nearby were construction tools, including a cement mixer, tiles, and a bucket of concrete. In the house, apart from Andrew, the police also discovered a 7-year-old girl trembling on the mattress in the living room. The girl identified herself as Emma. Her frightened demeanor and silence made police suspect she was a captive victim. When directly questioned about Bennylyn and Jellica, Andrew tried to maintain his composure and refused to answer. However, when interrogated about the unusual renovations in the kitchen and living room, under direct pressure from investigators, Andrew confessed, "I killed them. Bennylyn and Jellica are under the kitchen floor. I poured concrete over them." Andrew's cold confession stunned the officers present. He showed no remorse or regret, speaking as if it were a routine matter. In reality, he admitted guilt, knowing he couldn't evade conviction, once the police delved deeper into the investigation. It is rare for a criminal to confess upon first contact with law enforcement. Excavating the kitchen area was no simple task. Police collaborated with forensic experts, archaeologists, and engineers to ensure the bodies weren't further damaged. The entire process took over 2 weeks, shocking the local community. On March 19, the body of Jellica was the first to be found, buried under less than 1 meter of concrete. The 2-year-old girl's tiny body was interred with mud and cement. This heartbreaking discovery brought the investigation team to tears. Further excavation uncovered Bennylyn's body beneath Jellica. The 25-year-old mother's dismembered remains were wrapped in a nylon bag and covered with a blanket, showing bruises that indicated the violent abuse she endured before her death. Autopsy results revealed Bennylyn had a deep wound of 158 millimeters in her chest and several severe head injuries. Forensic scientists determined the cause of death was a combination of internal bleeding and forceful blows from a heavy object. Police immediately connected these findings to evidence seized at the scene. A 1.5 kilograms hammer found in Andrew's house had traces of the victim's blood. This was the weapon used to assault Bennylyn. Additionally, a kitchen knife was identified as the tool Andrew used to dismember the victim's body. Both victims' bodies showed signs of sexual assault. Police also discovered numerous used condoms at the scene. Later investigations confirmed Emma was not Andrew's daughter. She was another victim, abducted 2 weeks prior to fulfill his depraved desires. During interrogation, when asked why he murdered the mother and daughter, Andrew initially remained silent. He later offered a brazen explanation. Bennylyn continued communicating with other men through dating apps. I couldn't tolerate her deceit. He admitted that his initial plan was to spend a weekend with Bennylyn and Jellica, but jealousy and rage drove him to act violently. However, his statement was dismissed by the police, as the evidence showed clear signs of premeditation. Andrew confessed to using a hammer to attack Bennylyn in a fit of anger. After she collapsed, he continued to use a samurai sword to inflict additional injuries. These actions proved that his intent was not only to kill but also to desecrate the victim's body. Regarding Jellica, Andrew stated, "The girl wouldn't stop crying for her mother. I couldn't bear the sound." He admitted to killing her after 3 days of captivity. Andrew meticulously planned everything from inviting Bennylyn and Jellica to his home, purchasing construction tools, to concealing his crimes beneath a layer of concrete. Why did he commit such heinous acts? Let's delve deeper into the nature of this killer. Andrew Innes, 52 years old, was born in Germany. He had no criminal record and was considered a talented programmer. He moved to Dundee, Scotland at the age of 24 to study and later graduated from the University of Aberdeen. After graduation, Andrew began his career at Rockstar North, a prestigious gaming company. With his design and programming skills, he quickly became a key employee and a respected figure in the company. In the early 2000s, Andrew married a Japanese woman, and the family moved to Japan. They had 3 children. However, the marriage began to fall apart. Andrew and his wife divorced in 2019. After the separation, he returned to Scotland, living alone in a secluded house in Dundee. This marked the beginning of his descent into darkness. As an exceptional programmer, Andrew used his skills to create a sophisticated software program. This program was designed to collect data from 34 dating websites, specifically targeting women's profiles. He outlined the criteria for his ideal woman in an Excel spreadsheet. This spreadsheet later became crucial evidence, providing insight into the motives and methods of the perpetrator during the police investigation. He didn't care about the women's age, profession, or appearance. What obsessed him was whether they had young children. Andrew admitted in his testimony that his true intention was not to abuse the women, but to access their children. He pretended to care, engage in conversations, and build relationships with single mothers, solely to get close to their children. Bennylyn unknowingly became the perfect target when Andrew discovered her profile. He meticulously planned to lure her to his home in Scotland. This wasn't the first time he had committed such acts, but it was the most extreme case, leading to horrific crimes. Andrew's actions were likened to a wolf in sheep's clothing, using intelligence and technology to hunt his prey. His meticulous planning left the victims unaware until they were trapped in his deadly snare. On January 31, 2023, the trial of Andrew Innes officially began at the High Court in Edinburgh, Scotland. The atmosphere in the courtroom was tense as the gruesome details of the case were revealed to the public for the first time. The courtroom was packed with people, including reporters, curious citizens, and the victim's family. Bennylyn's sister traveled thousands of miles from the Philippines to witness the perpetrator face justice. Prosecutors opened with a short video showing Bennylyn and Jellica in happier times, creating a poignant contrast to the heinous crimes Andrew committed. Forensic experts presented their findings on Jellica's cause of death, revealing that the girl had been suffocated after enduring 3 days of Andrew's horrific abuse. Another critical piece of evidence was CCTV footage from a supermarket, showing Andrew purchasing construction materials like cement bags and tiles shortly after committing the crime. This reinforced the premeditated nature of his actions. Andrew sat at the defendant's dock with an eerily calm demeanor. When questioned about his motive for the murders, he insisted that he acted in self-defense and that Bennylyn's death was an unfortunate accident. However, prosecutors refuted this claim by presenting testimony from Emma, the surviving victim. Emma recounted in detail how Andrew had assaulted her and used a samurai sword to kill Bennylyn in her presence. He then concealed the bodies of Bennylyn and Jellica under a layer of concrete. Emma's testimony left the courtroom in silence. Prosecutors highlighted the psychological trauma inflicted on the child, emphasizing that Andrew not only committed these crimes but also deliberately inflicted irrevocable pain on an innocent child. Andrew continued to offer excuses, even claiming that he acted under hallucinations caused by medication and had no control over his actions. However, psychiatric experts dismissed these claims, asserting that he was fully aware of his behavior. Another shocking piece of evidence was the Excel file Andrew used to list potential targets from dating websites. Prosecutors concluded that Andrew was not just a murderer, but a depraved predator. He exploited intelligence and technology to prey on vulnerable single mothers, aiming to access their children. On February 6, 2023, the court convicted Andrew Innes of 2 counts of murder and child abuse. He was sentenced to life imprisonment with the possibility of parole after 36 years. Andrew was escorted out of court amid the angry shouts of the Scottish public. He continued to smile coldly, showing no signs of remorse. Following the trial, Scottish police announced support for Emma and Bennylyn's family to help them recover emotionally and reintegrate into society. Due to privacy concerns, Emma's name used in the video is a pseudonym. Her details were not disclosed. Nonetheless, the 7-year-old girl displayed immense courage by recounting the perpetrator's crimes. The Andrew Innes case has concluded, but its echoes remain, serving as a stark reminder that darkness can exist anywhere, even in places that appear most peaceful. This video has come to an end. Thank you for following the Scripping story. If you found this video intriguing, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to catch more captivating stories.